today's video, I want to go over a full gear breakdown for you of what I use to film short films and documentaries for church. Now, the first piece of gear you're going to need is very important, and that is a camera. Now, the camera that I am in love with right now, and I'm actually filming on, is the Sony ZV-E10. Check out my other videos up here about it. I'll leave a link up there. However, this is a APS-C sensor camera, so it does have a little bit of a crop, but it's very negligible. I mean, in most environments, I've never really had a problem. And I'm filming in a very small office. My room's like 10 by 12, so it's very small. However, there is still a lot of depth to it. You just have to be creative on how you film. My favorite features about the Sony ZV-E10 are that the lenses are very affordable. There's not a ton of options, however, the options you do have are very reasonable in price. It has clean HDMI out, and one of my favorite features is the amount of tally and record lights that you have. So you have a light on the front, the back, and on the flip out screen you have a red border telling you that you're recording, so you always know if you are or are not recording. In all of my videos I record onto a Sandisk 128 gig or 64 gig Extreme Pro SD card. I have found zero issues with these cards. They're very cheap and they just do a phenomenal job of doing just what they're supposed to do and record. So that's what I record on. So my favorite lenses right now are the Sigma 16 and 30mm for a little bit wide angle, and they are designed for the APS-C cameras, and it is the Sony E-mount, so there's no adapters or anything like that. They both have an f-stop of 1.4, so you have a very fast lens, and they're very affordable at that. My next favorite lens is actually the Sony 50mm, and I actually went for the full frame option because it was much cheaper and it has a little bit more zoom because it's actually made for a full frame. So when you pair that with an APS-C sensor, it actually is more, it's a much tighter angle than what you would get with the 50mm APS-C lens. So my next piece of gear I'm going to talk about is the ATEM Mini Pro. And very exciting as of this week, Blackmagic actually reduced the price of their ATEM Mini, their ATEM Mini Pro, and their ATEM Mini ISO, claiming that they were able to manufacture cheaper, so you can actually get the Pro for the same price that you used to get just the regular ATEM Mini, which there is a huge advantage to the Pro, and that is multi-view out. So part of the reason that I want clean HDMI out is being able to monitor and record on the ATEM Mini out of the Sony ZV-E10. So not only am I recording on an SD card on the camera, but I'm also recording onto an SSD out of the ATEM Mini Pro, and it's recording just the program feed, whatever I have on there. So what I always do is set my program feed to be just the normal, like wide angle shot of both subjects or whatever you're trying to do. I do that in case this camera's SD card fails or the file gets corrupted. I always have something to fall back onto, and I have a recording right there. And I love using the Sandisk SSDs. I'll link those down below. I've had extremely good luck with them. I edit all my videos off of them and everything. They are just great SSDs to have. Another advantage of using the ATEM Mini Pro is being able to monitor without having to go to the separate cameras or anything like that. You have it right there in front of you in one spot, and to check focus and composition, all of that just right there, right in front of you. It is a game changer being able to do it. It's a lot more work, but it is well worth it. So now that we've talked about video, half of video is actually audio. So on my cameras, I always have a microphone on there for scratch audio in case my other option fails, and I have something else to fall back onto, as well as for this type of shot, my Rode video mic works just fine for these videos, and it sounds great in my opinion. Let me know what you think, if this mic is trash or if my audio is fine. I personally think it's great. However, I also like to use a boom mic that is just out of frame and it will record much better audio, have a lot more side and rear rejection, so if there's any sort of noise going on in the background, you don't hear that as well. And I like to use the Audio-Technica AT875R. Now this is a very, very short shotgun microphone. It's only like 7 inches long, and it is XLR, so you will need a way to convert that. Stay tuned, I will talk about that in just a second. And then it also does extremely well with side and rear rejection, so it's only picking up your subject, and it just sounds incredible for the price. So like I just said, you need a way to convert that XLR signal into something you can either plug into a camera or externally record or go into the ATEM Mini. And actually I'm going to do pretty much all of those. So what I like to use is the PreSonus Audiobox. Now this is a very affordable option to convert XLR into 1/4 inch or USB. Now another advantage to this is being able to plug in headphones or in your monitors straight into the audio box and get real-time monitoring. Now what I like to do is go out of the audio box USB-C into my computer and record in Logic. Now what I also do is I have a wide 1/4 inch cable that goes into the ATEM Mini to record that audio there. So I have my super high quality audio, my good quality video that's clean HDMI going onto my SSD that I'm recording to. So I have a very, very high quality backup source if everything else fails. And everything is synced up for you, so you don't have to sync anything in post if you do it that way. The next piece of gear I'm going to talk about is my MacBook Pro 13 inch. Now, I'm outdated. I have the M1, so my thing is just really old, and no, I'm kidding. But anyway, this is a great computer. It does have some thermal throttling issues. However, it's nothing that like really sets you back. And I like to use it to record the audio from my Audio-Technica mic, and I use Logic to do that. And then I also edit all my videos and all my other content creation work with this device. And it works great. The colors are amazing, and it is a great bang for your buck of a computer. So we've talked video, we've talked audio. Now the third trifecta is the lighting. And my absolute favorite key light to use for video is the Aputure Amaran 100D. Now, this is a very, very affordable key light that has an app that you can control everything with. And if you have other Aputure lights, you can control all of them in the same scene. And it is very, very incredible to use. The Amaran 100D is an extremely, extremely bright light that I've honestly never had over 30% because it's just that bright. So what I like to pair my Amaran 100D with is the Angler 36-inch softbox. Now this has a Bowens mount right on it, so all you have to do is just twist it right on and it locks in, and it's incredible. It also has double diffusion, so it's extremely, extremely soft. And then the last thing I love about it is, since I have to move around and go a lot of places to do this, it folds up very nice and a lot easier than the other softboxes I've looked into. You don't have to take anything apart. You literally just pull this one piece out and it just folds down to like something this big. It is amazing. Now the next light you will need is some sort of hair or backlight. And I like to use the Aputure Amaran P60c. Now this is a very small light panel that's all LED, but it is full RGB capable. You can use your app to control it as well with the 100D, and it comes with a softbox, a grid, and everything you need to get going. You can even power it with batteries. However, I always just use AC power because it's just easier and I don't have to worry about another battery. Now say I was remote and I didn't have a power source, it is very cool to have that feature as well. So now that I've gone over all these lights, how are we going to mount them? How are we going to hang them? What are we going to do with them? Well, I like to use the impact light stands. Now these are just a tripod light stand. However, they are high quality aluminum and they're very, very affordable. One of my favorite features is they are air cushions. So when you release one of the extensions, the whole light and everything doesn't just slam down, because sometimes you need to get them up at a nice angle to produce the look you are looking for. So when it's way up there with all that weight, you can't get the light down. Well, if you loosen it, it just slowly lets it down, and it's very convenient to not have stuff slamming around. I also use one of these impact light stands to mount my boom arm to as well for my Audio-Technica mic, and it works great for that as well. I always just put a sandbag on the one side just to help make sure that it doesn't want to tip over, but I haven't had any problems with that so far. Since we're talking about stands, I have two different types of tripods that I use for my cameras. And the first one is a Viciall 80-inch tripod off of Amazon. It's like 65 or 70 bucks, something like that, right now on sale. It is very high quality for the price, and it is very, very versatile. I think you can convert it to a monopod, and it folds up to something like very, very small that can fit in any backpack. The second tripod I use is a Viltrox fluid head stand that I got from B&H. It is probably double the price, but it is extremely sturdy, way overkill for an APS-C camera, but it has a fluid head, so everything is just very, very smooth when you are adjusting to get your framing just right. So now that we have all of our gear and a ecosystem set up, we need to connect all of this stuff together. So I have some HDMI cables off of Amazon that work great. They're 4K capable and they're very affordable. You will need some sort of adapter because I like to buy full-size HDMI cables and then just adapt them. That way I'm not handicapped and can use them for other stuff as well. And then you'll also need a USB-C cable to connect your audio box to your MacBook or whatever else computer you're going to hook it up to. And one of the more important ones for audio is a 1/4 inch wide cable to a 1/8 inch TRS cable to plug into the ATEM Mini for audio. Now I know this was a lot of gear, and if you do the math, you're like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. How did you afford all this? Well, it took me years to accumulate all of this gear. I didn't go out and buy this all at once. Now, if you want my 5 tips on how to shoot a documentary, click the video right here, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks.